Imagine designing a digital vault for your, I guess, your most cherished assets, not just a strongbox, right?
Right.
But one so smart it understands your life's priorities, adapting to future twists and turns, maybe even securing your legacy. Sounds a bit sci-fi, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Well, it's actually becoming a tangible reality on the Bitcoin network and the tech enabling it. It's called
On
Miniscript.
to the one.
So today we're taking a really deep dive into Miniscript. It's this advanced yet surprisingly practical innovation. And it seems to be fundamentally transforming how we can secure, manage, and maybe even inherit Bitcoin.
Absolutely. It's quite a step forward.
We spent some time sifting through, technical discussions, practical demos, especially from Blockstream's Decipher series, which was super insightful.
Very good material there.
And our mission today is really to cut through the jargon, try to demystify this Bitcoin scripting stuff, and show you exactly what Miniscript is, why it matters, and importantly, how it's already being used. The goal: unprecedented control and maybe even more valuable, peace of mind over your digital wealth.
Exactly. Peace of mind is a huge part of it.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. For those of us who follow Bitcoin, we know it's programmable. But before we get to the mini part, we probably need to understand its big brother, Bitcoin script. What exactly is it?
That's definitely the right place to start, because understanding the why behind Bitcoin Script's design is, well, it's crucial. At its heart, Bitcoin Script is the foundational programming language built right into Bitcoin.
Okay.
It's what gives Bitcoin its smart contract-like functionality. It lets users define spending conditions way beyond just a simple send from A to B.
Right, like multi-sig or Lightning.
Exactly. That's the engine powering things like the Lightning Network, for fast, cheap payments, or the multi-signature wallets many use for better security. Also things like atomic swaps, time locks. It enables all that.
Now, here's where it gets interesting, I think. Bitcoin script is powerful, but our sources and just general knowledge tell us it has intentional limitations. Why is that? Why limit it, and what challenges does that create?
Yeah, those limitations are absolutely critical.
Yeah.
They're there for Bitcoin security and stability. You see, unlike some other blockchain languages that try to be Turing complete, meaning they can compute basically anything, like a regular computer program.
Right, which sounds powerful but maybe risky.
Exactly. Bitcoin script is deliberately not Turing complete. This restriction helps prevent nasty bugs, infinite loops, or complex attacks that could, mess up the whole network. It's a design choice. It prioritizes robustness, predictability, over, say, infinite flexibility.
Okay, so powerful but constrained for safety. Makes sense. But then the sources indicate this design, while good for security, it presented real challenges for developers, right? What kind of engineering headaches did those limits cause?
Precisely. The security benefits are clear, but the flip side was that building genuinely complex spending conditions, well, it became incredibly cumbersome using just raw Bitcoin script.
Cumbersome how?
Well, each new, slightly different scenario often needed totally bespoke, custom development work. Think of it like this. Bitcoin script is like trying to build and modify a custom-engineered sports car using only a basic wrench and hammer.
Okay.
She could maybe do it eventually, but it's incredibly difficult, super time-consuming, and really prone to errors. Every time you wanted a new feature, you were pretty much starting from scratch. This led to inefficiencies, higher costs for audits, potential compatibility problems, because every solution was kind of unique. It demanded huge, specialized effort and carried significant risks just in the building process itself.
That wrench and hammer metaphor really lands. Okay, so if Bitcoin script had these engineering hurdles, how does Miniscript, which Blockstream introduced back in 2019, how does that actually streamline things, make it less error-prone, maybe more accessible?
Right, so Miniscript essentially acts as a much more accessible, structured layer on top of Bitcoin script.
Okay, a layer on top.
Exactly. So instead of developers painstakingly handcrafting every single line of low-level code for some complex condition, Miniscript provides a higher-level framework. It makes constructing and analyzing these conditions dramatically easier and much, much more secure.
Easier and more secure how?
Well, for one, it's significantly more human-readable. That's a massive plus for engineers trying to understand and check what a complex script actually does. It also makes it more reliable because it lets developers define and combine arbitrary sets of spending conditions in a standardized way.
Standardized. So reusable parts, kind of?
Pretty much. Instead of reinventing the wheel for every single use case, you have building blocks. It allows for creating really sophisticated applications on Bitcoin Advanced Multisig, complex escrows with way less specialized effort and much greater confidence that they're actually correct.
Okay, I hear easier, standardized, human readable. But when we talk about complex spending conditions and arbitrary sets, I mean, it still sounds like something only really specialized developers or maybe cryptographers would be working with directly. Is this really for the everyday Bitcoin user? Or is it mostly a tool for the infrastructure builders? Like, are we, the users, going to be writing Miniscript anytime soon?
That's a fair question, and it's really important to clarify. You're right. The underlying code, the construction, it's still complex. But Miniscript vastly simplifies the expression and the composition of these conditions,
Okay.
which makes it more robust and less error-prone for the developers building the tools.
Right.
And here's the crucial part. It enables applications and wallets that then become much, much more accessible for everyday users like you.
Ah, so it's indirect.
Exactly. You, as the end user, will almost certainly not be directly writing Miniscript code. Think of it this way. Miniscript helps build the digital agents inside your Bitcoin wallet.
Digital agents, like little robots.
Kind of. They're programmed to carry out specific, predefined tasks based on the rules you set up. They control events, lessen your dependence on third parties like lawyers or banks for certain agreements. They automate contract execution, boosting efficiency, cutting costs, reducing fraud risk, because there's less need for human oversight.
Okay, that analogy helps. So I interact with the easy interface, and the agent powered by Miniscript does the complex stuff behind the scenes.
Precisely. So you benefit from the enhanced security, the incredible flexibility, the totally new features in the wallets and services they're built with Miniscript, even if you never see the code itself.
Got it. That makes a lot more sense. So if Miniscript is enabling these powerful new apps, what kind of practical features, what safeguards does it unlock for us that were like either impossible or just way too hard before?
Yeah, the sources highlight some really great examples that bring this to life. First, let's talk time lock multi-signature transactions.
Okay, time locks.
So a typical 2 of 3 multi-sig wallet needs, well, 2 keys out of 3 to sign anything.
Right.
But what if, God forbid, you lose 2 keys or something happens to 2 key holders? Your Bitcoin could be locked forever.
Yeah, that's the nightmare scenario.
Exactly. With Miniscript, you can assign a time duration or a backup path to certain keys. So, for instance, in a company treasury, maybe you have a 2 of 3 setup. But if 2 execs are unavailable for, say, 90 days, Miniscript could allow a single specific executive key to then access the funds.
Oh, wow. Okay, a backup plan built in.
Or for your personal wall, you could set up a rule where you, the main owner, have to interact with the wallet, maybe sign a tiny transaction to yourself every, say, 500 blocks,
Which is about.
roughly every 3.5 days. If you don't do that check-in, a time lock starts ticking. And after that set period, maybe a month, maybe 6 months, a single recovery key held by, say, a trusted family member or lawyer could then spend the funds.
So it ensures the funds aren't lost forever if something unexpected happens to the primary owner.
Precisely. It builds in accessibility under planned circumstances, prevents permanent loss from unforeseen events.
That's huge. A dynamic element, not just static keys. I mean, that 500 block check-in, that's not just technical. It's like a window to react if something's wrong.
Exactly right. Then there's hierarchical key signing, sometimes called tiered policies.
Hierarchical, like levels.
Yeah. This lets you set up rules about which keys have authority or how many signatures are needed, maybe based on the amount or the time within a multi-sig setup.
Okay, give me an example.
Imagine a business wallet. Small payments, daily expenses, maybe just one signature from a junior accountant is fine. Medium payments. Okay, maybe that needs 2 signatures from senior staff.
And big ones.
Right, large payments, capital expenditures. That could demand multiple signatures, plus maybe a mandatory time lock delay for extra review. It gives you incredibly granular control. You escalate security based on the transaction's value or sensitivity.
So you're basically building a custom security policy right into the Bitcoin itself. It's not just all keys are equal.
Exactly. Different keys for different roles or thresholds. Like an org chart for your Bitcoin security. It's super versatile for managing funds more smartly.
Okay, that's impressive. What else?
And then there are complex escrow arrangements. Miniscript makes intricate scenarios much easier than simple 2-party deals.
Like for a contractor.
Perfect example. Funds for a contractor might only be released when both the client and a third-party inspector sign off that the work is done. Removes the need for a bank or some other central escrow agent.
Or inheritance.
Yes, a really sensitive one. Funds could be set to release to an heir only after a certain time passes. But maybe they could be accessed earlier if, say, 2 out of 3 designated trustees agree. You can even build really nuanced logic, like spendable if keys A and B sign, or if B and C sign after 1 year, or if A and C sign after 5 years. That level of multi-condition precision was just incredibly hard, maybe practically impossible, to do safely with just Bitcoin script.
Wow. These are fantastic examples. It
Mhm.
really shows it moving beyond just sending and receiving. It sounds like Miniscript isn't just about security. It's about like incredible flexibility and customization, tailoring it to really specific, complex needs.
Absolutely. And the implications, they go beyond just convenience or fancy features. It offers profound peace of mind.
Peace of mind, how so?
Well, think about it. In a world where exchanges can, mishandle funds, freeze accounts, sometimes collapse, self-custody isn't just a nice idea, it's becoming crucial.
True.
Miniscript doesn't just enable advanced multisig, it simplifies setting them up, makes them more approachable for more people, and it even boosts security for single-sig wallets by making it easier to add conditional recovery paths or spending rules.
You mentioned protecting against threats earlier. Beyond just exchange risk, what specific threats are we talking about? How does Miniscript shield us?
Well, a range of things. It helps protect against physical threats, like the infamous $5 wrench attack where someone forces you to give up your keys.
How does it help there?
By enabling things like time locks or requiring multiple keys stored in different places. Even if one key is compromised under duress, there might be a mandatory waiting period or other signatures needed before funds can move. That gives you precious time to react, maybe invalidate the key, activate a recovery plan.
Buys you time. Okay.
It also powerfully mitigates the risk of just losing access yourself. Key mismanagement, or if one person in a multi-sig setup becomes unavailable unexpectedly. If you've planned with Miniscript rules, your funds aren't necessarily locked forever.
Right, the backup paths we talked about.
Exactly. But maybe the most compelling aspect, for really high-stress situations like family savings, long-term wealth, inheritance planning, Miniscript lets you structure wallets so Bitcoin can be passed on securely, seamlessly to beneficiaries.
Like digital estate planning.
Pretty much. It bypasses a lot of the complexity, the delays, the often huge costs of traditional asset planning. You get cryptographic certainty instead of relying solely on legal frameworks and institutions. It really shifts control.
So, tying it all together, it's about taking genuine control. Not just technically, but for life's big financial moments, for legacies, with an assurance and adaptability that just wasn't easy before. Designing your financial future with digital precision.
That sums it up really well.
Now, the sources didn't just talk theory, they also gave a great peek into how this is actually used today, specifically showing a Blockstream Jade hardware wallet with the Liana software wallet. What did that walkthrough actually show us? How does it work in practice?
Yeah, the demo was really illustrative, made it concrete. It started by creating a new wallet in the Liana software. Then they assigned multiple keys to it.
Okay.
In the example, they set up 3 keys, 2 separate Blockstream Jade hardware wallets, and 1 key stored on the computer itself.
2 hardware, 1 software. Got it.
Then the crucial part, they configured a specific Miniscript policy. The rule was, after a set time they used 29 days in the demo, the single computer key alone could spend the funds.
Ah, so that's the conditional recovery path in action if the hardware wallets are lost or broken.
Exactly. After 29 days, the computer key becomes active as a backup. The process involved backing up something called a wallet descriptor.
A descriptor. What's that?
It's basically the compact, sort of human-readable definition of all these rules and keys. It tells the software how the wallet is constructed with Miniscript.
Okay, like the blueprint.
Kind of, yeah. Then they showed confirming the policy details right there on the Jade hardware device itself, which is really important for security. You verify the rules on your trusted hardware.
Makes sense. Trust but verify on the device.
Exactly. And finally, after connecting to a Bitcoin node, and it's cool, Liana now lets you run a prune node on your own device, saving space.
Oh, that's handy. Don't need the whole blockchain history.
Right. They showed receiving a test transaction, I think it was 150,000 satoshis, the smallest unit of Bitcoin, into this new Miniscript-powered wallet. It really brought it all together, from abstract rules to actual sats you can manage.
That's a fantastic demonstration. It really shows how these advanced features are getting, well, more user-friendly, moving from just concepts to something practical you can hold almost, makes the promise of Miniscript feel very real for anyone wanting more control.
It really does. And what's fascinating is Miniscript isn't just about adding shiny new features. It's fundamentally about making Bitcoin's programmability safer, more standardized, more audible for the people building the tools.
Which then benefits us, the users.
Directly.
Mm-hmm.
It translates into more robust, more intuitive, and ultimately much more powerful tools for everyone. It shows a clear path for Bitcoin to handle increasingly complex financial stuff without compromising its core principles: security, decentralization, individual control.
So we've covered a huge amount today, from the basics of Bitcoin script and its, deliberate limitations, to how Miniscript comes in offering these sophisticated, secure, and increasingly accessible solutions for managing digital assets. We saw the examples: conditional time locks, those hierarchical keys, complex escrows, all leading to better control and, that key phrase, peace of mind. As we, move deeper into this digital age and traditional institutions maybe face new challenges, perhaps the biggest innovation isn't just the tech itself. Maybe it's the ability to truly design our own financial relationships, our legacies, with this kind of cryptographic certainty, giving us an autonomy that was, well, pretty unimaginable before. Miniscript really offers a compelling glimpse into that future.
Well said.
Anyway, if you found this deep dive intriguing, definitely remember to follow, like, and share the deep dive wherever you happen to listen.
Yeah, please do.
And for more insights specifically into the world of Bitcoin, you can also follow What Bitcoin Taught Me. We're pretty much everywhere: Twitter, X, Nostr, Bluesky, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Lots of places to connect.
Definitely. Thanks so much for joining us today.